Hey everybody, welcome to PT for Everyone. Today we're going to be talking about this guy here. So if you've seen one of these before, you may know what this is. This is what we call a rollator. A lot of people like to be a little fun with it and call it the Cadillac of assistive devices or the Cadillac of walkers. These can get super fancy. If you've seen some of these out and about, you may have seen some with really big baskets underneath. You've seen some with a bar here for extra support or something to grab onto. You've got brakes. I've seen some with bigger wheels even than are on here right there. There are all kind of things that you can add to this, which again, like I said, is called a rollator, to make it more fitting and more comfortable to your style. So today we're going to talk about this rollator. So one thing that I mentioned in our last video and that I want to repeat here as well is the people who use these types of walkers. Okay, one, you need to make sure that they're cognitively able to safely use one of these guys, but also physically able to safely use one of these guys as well. These are a little bit more difficult to maneuver and navigate, so you've got to make sure that whether it's you yourself or somebody that you're caring for or a patient that you're seeing and working with, that they're just able to work with and navigate one of these guys. Also, these are unfortunately, just a little tidbit here, not fully covered by most people's insurances. Most people's insurance companies are only going to cover, they'll cover a big percentage of this, but most of the time you're going to have anywhere between $30 to maybe $45 if you can get this covered through your insurance that you're going to have left over to pay. If you cannot get this covered through your insurance, because as we all know, Medicare and most insurances will only cover one assistive device every 5 years. So if you get a regular walker or a cane or something like that through your insurance, they're not going to cover for you to make a step up or do something different. You're going to have to end up paying for that out of pocket. These are a little more pricey. These are going to run you anywhere between $100, $150 for just a plain one. Some I've seen that are really fancy and really big run up into like $150 to $200. So you have to think about that when you're going for one of these as well. But the main differences with a rollator is, one, you've got this seat here. So as you can see, you've got a seat right here in the bottom of this rollator. You've also got 4 wheels, okay? On our standard walker, we have no wheels. And on a rolling walker, we've only got 2 wheels. The rolling walker has the 2 wheels in the front. Here on a rollator, you have 4 wheels. The front 2 wheels can turn 360 degrees, so it makes turning this guy pretty easy. But it can also make turning this guy a little bit too quick for some people, and it can tend to get away and kind of move a little bit too much for some people. These back wheels stay stagnant, but like again, roll backwards and forwards, and your brakes actually control these back wheels. So you have your brakes on the handles right here. In order to operate the brakes, you can squeeze up on them this way here, and that will engage the brakes. You can also press these down. You'll hear them lock, and that will engage the brakes as well. So you can either lock them in to where they will stay, or, like I said, that's unlocking them. Just squeeze the handles here, and that will engage that brake so that it's stable while you're walking or moving, etc. All right, these are a little bit bigger than your standard walkers, so they are a little bit heavier. So as far as transport, getting them in and out of your vehicles can be a little more difficult because they're a little heavier. But if you've got somebody that helps you and you've got somebody that can tolerate that, then absolutely wonderful. Most of these are going to fold in half, kind of like compact together. They're either going to, when you lift the seat up, fold in half this way. Some of them, that is not connected to the actual seat. Some of them that actually have like a basket under the seat, you'll actually lift the seat up, and there will be a bar here at the bottom that you will grab and lift up. And again, this will fold in together just like this. That way it can be more compact. You can fit it in your vehicle. You can fit it wherever you need to if you want to put it away for a little while and store it. That way it's not taking up as much space. What you'll see a lot of people do, and a lot of the draw and kind of the thing that people want rollators for, is this guy right here, this little seat right here, because they want to have something where either one of two things. One, they've got a place to put their plate, their drinks, their purse, just anything that they want to transport from one place to another. They'll use this kind of as a mobile table. They'll put everything on this seat right here. That way they can push it around, move it wherever they need to, and they've still got both of their hands free. Another reason people really like rollators is for the seat option to actually sit in. A lot of times patients who get a little fatigued and tired like having that option, so if they feel the need to, they can have a seat while they're walking, or maybe if they're at a doctor's appointment and they need that break in between walking from maybe the doctor's office out to the vehicle, or if they're running errands with a family member and they may feel like they need to sit and rest. It's also an extra option. A lot of people like to have these to say you're doing something, you're washing dishes, or you're trying to cook a little bit, or you're trying to clean your house, and you want to have something that's there to where if you get a little tired, again, you can have a seat and sit down. But you want to make sure, if you do have one of these and you're using one of these, that again, you're safe. Because as we know here at PT for Everyone, safety is our biggest thing. So if you're going to sit and use one of these for sitting, you always want to make sure that you lock it in first. And don't just press down and hear it lock, which that's a good thing, but also give it a little push and make sure that it's not going to go anywhere before you turn your tush and you sit down. So once you're sitting here, again, this one doesn't have it, but a lot of them have a bar here to where you can kind of lean against it a little bit. It gives you a little bit of support in your back. But sitting here, again, you're able to rest, you're able to catch your breath, okay? What you want to do before you get up, make sure, again, that these handles are locked, that this isn't going to go anywhere. Use the handles to press up, stand, and turn, unlock your walker, and you can continue your walk. What you may see a lot of people do with these, which anytime I see this, I always try to stop people and tell them how unsafe it is. But this is not a wheelchair. Do not use this as a wheelchair. This can tip backwards and even tip forwards, but mainly in this direction very, very, very easily. So if I'm sitting here and I'm scooting around in this and using it like a wheelchair, there is a big chance that I'm going to either bump into something or probably lose my balance. And this is going to tip backwards and dump me out of it. Then I'm on the floor. I'm going to have difficulty getting up, and I may even hurt myself. And the whole option and the whole point is to, again, make sure that we're safe. So some people also think, oh, well, I'm going to have somebody push me. Again, if I'm sitting here and I have someone here pushing me, again, if I hit a bump or I hit a crack in the sidewalk or I run into something or something gets under that wheel and it gets stuck, they can tip me backwards and flip me out, dump me out of this thing extremely easy. I have seen multiple people get hurt because they got dumped out of their rollators because either they were using them as a wheelchair themselves and trying to scoot around in their home or out and about, or they were using their rollator like a wheelchair and a family member was actually pushing them. So that is something that you do not want to do. This is a rollator, this is a walker, not a wheelchair. I talked a little bit about how mobile these guys are. So if you or the person that you help take care of or a patient that you're seeing doesn't walk very fast, who maybe has really poor balance, maybe they have a tendency to kind of lean forward, and shuffle, this is more than likely not going to be a walker or an assisted device that they're going to be safe to use. These rollators are for people who have better balance and who have a faster cadence, like a faster step, strictly because all of the wheels and the mobility of the wheels can cause this to move very quickly. So it's easy for it to scoot away from you and get away from you. So it's easy, if you're not careful, to fall with one of these guys. So a lot of times if you have, especially if you have any sort of weight bearing restrictions or anything like that, this is not going to be a device that you're going to want to use because, again, it's not going to be very stable. If you get a little bit confused and maybe would forget to lock the brakes in before you sat down to rest, or would forget how to use the brakes to make sure that it didn't run away from you while you were walking, then again, this is not going to be your safest option. This is going to be for people who are a lot more mobile, but just who need something for a little bit of stability. Again, I can't jump up on this like I did in our last video with our standard walker. If I tried to do that, this would completely roll away and I would end up on the floor. So in conclusion, rollators can be a great assisted device for those who could really benefit from them. Again, anybody who just needs a little extra stability, or somebody who gets really fatigued, has poor endurance, and just needs something to sit for a moment, catch their breath, get up, and then continue what they're doing. You've got to be safe with these guys. If you're not, they can end up causing way many more problems than if you were to use just a rolling walker or a standard walker. So that's today's videos on rollators. If you have any questions, toss them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. If you like today's video, smash that subscribe button because I'm going to be making a whole lot more of these. Thanks for following along. Until next time, I'll see ya. Bye.